Dear listener, hello, and welcome to the Deep Sleep Science channel. Far below the reach of sunlight, beyond the depths where even submarines begin to struggle, exists a world that feels more like another planet than part of Earth. Down there, the water is almost freezing, the darkness is absolute, and the pressure is so intense it can crush steel like paper. Every movement costs energy, and every meal is a rare and precious event. Food does not grow here. It falls slowly from above, drifting down like faint invisible snow. In this silent abyss, simply staying alive is already a miracle. And yet in this extreme world, creatures exist that do far more than survive. They glow, fly, armor themselves in metal, dissolve bones, reset their own life cycles, and merge their bodies together in ways that seem impossible. These are the 12 craziest deep-sea creatures ever discovered, not just rare animals, but living proof that the deepest parts of our planet are home to some of the strangest and most astonishing life forms in existence. The first and craziest creature is anglerfish. The deep ocean is home to some of the strangest life forms ever discovered, but among all of them, the anglerfish stands out as one of the most biologically shocking creatures on Earth. This animal does not simply look unusual. It lives by rules that feel completely foreign to everything we understand about reproduction, individuality, and even what it means to be a single organism. Certain deep-sea anglerfish species have evolved a reproductive system so extreme that it seems impossible at first glance. The male permanently fuses into the female's body and becomes part of her, losing his independence entirely. No other known vertebrate reproduces this way, making the anglerfish one of the most extraordinary evolutionary experiments ever recorded. Anglerfish belong to a group of deep-sea predators called lophiiforms. They are best known for the glowing fishing rod that extends from their heads, ending in a bioluminescent tip that shines softly in the darkness. This light is used as a lure. In the lightless depths of the ocean, curious fish and crustaceans are drawn toward the glow, and when they drift close enough, the anglerfish opens its enormous mouth and swallows them whole. Their jaws can stretch to a shocking width, allowing them to eat prey nearly as large as themselves. But while this hunting method is impressive, it is their reproductive behavior that truly defies normal biology. Male anglerfish are born tiny compared to females, sometimes no bigger than a finger. They are poorly equipped for long-term survival on their own and live with one overwhelming biological purpose: to find a female before they starve. In the vast, dark emptiness of the deep sea, locating another individual is extremely difficult, and finding a mate is even harder. When a male finally encounters a female, he bites into her skin and holds on. Instead of being rejected, something astonishing happens. Their tissues begin to fuse together, their blood vessels connect, and over time the male becomes permanently integrated into the female's body. As the fusion progresses, the male undergoes dramatic physical changes. His internal organs shrink, his heart stops beating independently, and his eyes and digestive system degenerate. Eventually, he is no longer capable of living on his own. He has effectively become a living reproductive organ, fully dependent on the female's bloodstream for oxygen and nutrients. From that point on, his sole remaining biological function is to provide sperm whenever the female is ready to reproduce. In some species, a single female may carry several fused males at once, each one genetically different, giving her multiple potential fathers for her offspring. This bizarre system evolved because of the extreme environment in which anglerfish live. They inhabit the midnight zone of the ocean, between about 1,000 and 4,000 meters deep, where sunlight never reaches. The water is near freezing, pressure is immense, and food is scarce. In such an environment, the chance of two anglerfish encountering one another is very low. By permanently attaching the male to the female, evolution ensured that once a female finds a mate, she will never be without access to sperm again. It is a permanent solution to a permanent problem. Anglerfish are carnivorous ambush predators. They eat fish, shrimp, squid, and any other animals that can fit into their massive mouths. Their stomachs can stretch greatly, allowing them to survive long periods between meals. While some shallow water anglerfish species are eaten by humans and are considered delicacies in certain parts of the world, the deep-sea parasitic anglerfish are rarely consumed. They are difficult to catch, live far below fishing depths, and have soft, gelatinous bodies adapted to high pressure rather than to life at the surface. Humans first learned about anglerfish fusion in the late 19th and early 20th centuries, when deep-sea trawling began to bring strange creatures up from the abyss. Scientists noticed large female anglerfish with tiny, seemingly parasitic animals attached to their sides. At first, these were believed to be actual parasites. Later dissections revealed that these small creatures were in fact male anglerfish permanently fused to the females' bodies. This discovery stunned biologists and forced them to rethink traditional definitions of individuality, reproduction, and even what qualifies as a single organism. There are many other fascinating details about these animals. A female anglerfish can live with multiple fused males at the same time, increasing the genetic diversity of her offspring. The glowing lure on her head is powered by symbiotic bacteria that produce light through chemical reactions. Anglerfish have extremely slow metabolisms, allowing them to survive long periods without food. Their bones are soft and flexible, adapted to crushing water pressure. Their teeth curve inward like traps, making it nearly impossible for prey to escape once caught. Their dark skin absorbs light, helping them remain invisible in the deep. The anglerfish challenges nearly every assumption humans have about life. It blurs the line between two individuals and one organism. It rewrites what mating means. It demonstrates that evolution is not concerned with comfort, beauty, or familiarity, only with survival. In the eternal darkness of the deep ocean, biology produced a solution that seems more like science fiction than natural history, yet it works perfectly. The anglerfish exists as proof that Earth's oceans still hold life forms that can astonish, unsettle, and completely rewrite our understanding of what living beings can become. Second, immortal jellyfish. The immortal jellyfish is one of the most astonishing creatures ever discovered in Earth's oceans. While many animals live for decades or even centuries, this tiny jellyfish possesses an ability that seems to defy the most fundamental rule of biology. It can reverse its own aging process and begin its life all over again. Known scientifically as Turritopsis dornii, the immortal jellyfish does not merely survive for a long time. Under the right conditions, it can potentially live forever. Its existence challenges our understanding of life, death, and biological limits, making it one of the most remarkable organisms on the planet. The immortal jellyfish is a small, transparent species, usually measuring only about 4 to 5 millimeters across, roughly the size of a fingernail. It looks delicate and simple, with a soft, bell-shaped body and thin tentacles extending from its edges. At first glance, it appears no different from countless other jellyfish drifting through warm coastal waters. However, hidden inside its tiny body is a cellular process so rare that no other complex animal on Earth is known to perform it in the same way. Most animals are born, grow, reproduce, age, and eventually die. The immortal jellyfish follows this pattern at first, but it has an extraordinary escape route from death. When it becomes injured, sick, starved, or simply old, it can trigger a biological reset. Instead of dying, its body collapses into a small blob-like structure and sinks to the seafloor. From there, it begins to reorganize its cells, transforming back into its earliest juvenile stage, known as a polyp. This polyp then grows into a brand new adult jellyfish, genetically identical to the one that came before. In effect, the jellyfish has traveled backward through its own life cycle, starting life again as if it were newly born. This process feels almost impossible, because it violates what biologists consider the normal one-way direction of development. Cells in complex animals are usually locked into their roles once they mature. Muscle cells stay muscle cells. Nerve cells stay nerve cells. The immortal jellyfish can undo this specialization through a process called transdifferentiation, where its cells change directly from one type into another. This cellular flexibility is incredibly rare in nature and is the key to the jellyfish's apparent immortality. The immortal jellyfish is native to warm coastal waters of the Mediterranean Sea, but it has spread to oceans all over the world. It can now be found in parts of the Atlantic, Pacific, and Indian Oceans. Scientists believe it has traveled so widely by hitching rides in ship ballast water, allowing it to colonize new environments far from its original home. Despite its growing global presence, it often goes unnoticed because of its tiny size and transparent body. Like other jellyfish, the immortal jellyfish feeds on microscopic plankton, fish eggs, and tiny larvae drifting in the water. It uses its tentacles to capture food and move it toward its mouth. While jellyfish are edible in some cultures, especially in parts of Asia, the immortal jellyfish is far too small and delicate to be harvested for food. It has no commercial value and is not commonly eaten by humans. Scientists first began to notice something unusual about this species in the late 20th century. In the 1980s, researchers observed that some jellyfish in laboratory tanks were not dying after reproducing, as expected. Instead, they were reverting into earlier life stages. At first, this was thought to be a laboratory accident, but repeated observations confirmed that this reversal was a natural biological process. Further genetic and cellular studies revealed the incredible ability of Turritopsis dohrnii to transform its own cells and restart its life cycle indefinitely. The immortal jellyfish has since become a subject of intense scientific interest, especially in aging research and regenerative medicine. Scientists hope that understanding how this jellyfish resets its cells could one day contribute to treatments that repair damaged tissues, slow aging, or improve recovery from injuries in humans. While humans are far from achieving anything close to biological immortality, this jellyfish shows that nature has already solved some of the problems we struggle to understand. There are many fascinating facts about this extraordinary creature. It can repeat its life cycle an unlimited number of times, meaning it does not have a fixed lifespan. It can revert to its juvenile form not only when old, but also when injured or starved. Its cells can change type without returning to a stem cell state, which is extremely rare. It is considered biologically immortal, even though it can still be eaten by predators or killed by disease. It is spreading globally through human shipping activity. It is one of the smallest jellyfish species known. Its tentacles increase in number as it matures. It reproduces sexually before resetting itself. It has no brain or heart. Its body is more than 95% water. It can survive low oxygen conditions. It can clone itself through its polyp stage. It has existed in some form for millions of years. It is transparent, making it difficult to see in open water. It can be studied easily in laboratories. It can form colonies of polyps. It does not age in the normal biological sense. It challenges the idea that death is unavoidable in complex animals. It is harmless to humans, and it may hold clues to future medical breakthroughs. The immortal jellyfish is a reminder that Earth's oceans still contain life forms that stretch the boundaries of what we believe is possible. In a world governed by aging and death, this tiny drifting creature quietly breaks the rules. It does not conquer the ocean through size or strength, but through a simple, elegant biological trick, the power to begin again. Third, scaly-foot snail. The scaly-foot snail is one of the strangest and most unbelievable animals ever discovered in the deep ocean. It looks less like a living creature and more like something built in a laboratory, yet it is completely real. Its scientific name is Chrysomalon squamiferum, but it is far better known as the scaly-foot snail, or sometimes the volcano snail. What makes this animal so extraordinary is that it is the only known creature on Earth that grows natural metal armor directly on its body. Its shell and even parts of its soft foot are coated with iron compounds, giving it a suit of armor that looks like it belongs on a machine rather than on a snail. The idea of an animal producing metal armor feels almost impossible. Most living creatures are built from soft tissues, calcium-based shells, or organic structures like keratin. The scaly-foot snail, however, takes iron from the extreme environment it lives in and uses it to harden its outer shell and the scales that cover its foot. These scales look like overlapping black plates, similar to chainmail. They provide protection from crushing pressure, sharp mineral deposits, and the chemical hazards of its environment. No other known animal has developed anything remotely similar, which is why the scaly-foot snail is often described as the only animal with metal armor. This remarkable snail lives in one of the harshest places on Earth, deep-sea hydrothermal vents in the Indian Ocean. These vents are found more than 2,000 meters below the surface, where sunlight never reaches and the water is near freezing, except for jets of superheated mineral-rich fluid blasting out of the seafloor. These underwater vents release chemicals that would be toxic to most life forms, yet the scaly-foot snail not only survives there, it thrives. Its armored shell and plated foot protect it from extreme heat changes, acidic water, and sharp mineral fragments constantly falling around it. The scaly-foot snail does not feed like a typical snail. Instead of scraping algae from rocks, it depends on bacteria that live inside its own body. Inside a special organ, the snail houses colonies of bacteria that use chemicals from the hydrothermal vents as an energy source. These bacteria produce nutrients, and the snail absorbs those nutrients directly. In other words, the snail's body acts as a living farm, growing its own food internally. Because of this unusual diet and its remote habitat, the scaly-foot snail is not considered edible, and it has no role in human cuisine. It is extremely rare, protected, and lives far beyond the reach of ordinary fishing. Scientists first discovered the scaly-foot snail in 2001 during deep-sea exploration missions using remotely operated vehicles. When researchers first saw it, they were stunned by its appearance. It looked like a creature wearing armor plates, and its dark metallic shell stood out sharply against the pale minerals of the vent field. Samples brought to the surface revealed that its shell and scales contained iron sulfide, a metallic compound formed from iron and sulfur. This discovery amazed scientists because it showed that a living animal was using metal in a structural way, something previously thought to be nearly impossible in biology. Further studies revealed even more astonishing details. The snail has a heart far larger than that of most snails, allowing it to pump blood efficiently in its low-oxygen environment. Its shell is layered, with an outer metallic coating, a middle organic layer, and an inner calcium layer, creating a natural composite material similar to advanced protective materials engineered by humans. Its scales are not merely decorative, they function as shock absorbers and shields against predators and falling debris. Some predators in the vent fields attempt to bite the snail, but their teeth can break against its hardened armor. There are many remarkable facts about the scaly-foot snail that make it one of the most unusual animals on Earth. It is one of the few animals that relies almost entirely on internal bacteria for food. It can survive in water containing high levels of toxic metals. Its shell is naturally black due to its iron content. Its foot scales grow continuously. Its armor becomes thicker as it ages. It has one of the largest hearts relative to body size among snails. It has reduced eyes, as light never reaches its habitat. It moves slowly but steadily across vent surfaces. It can tolerate extreme temperature shifts. It is found in only a few known vent fields on the entire planet. It was once listed as endangered due to deep-sea mining threats. It has inspired the design of new protective materials. It is protected under international conservation agreements. It has no known predators that specialize in eating it. It has a shell structure stronger than many other mollusks. It uses sulfur-based compounds in its body chemistry. It can survive in water that would kill most animals. It is considered one of the toughest snails in existence. It has a unique foot shape adapted to gripping vent surfaces, and it remains one of the rarest snails ever discovered. The scaly foot snail reminds us that the deep ocean still hides life forms that seem to rewrite the rules of biology. Its metallic armor, chemical-based lifestyle, and ability to survive in extreme environments make it look more like a creature from science fiction than a real animal. Yet it quietly lives its life in darkness, protected by its natural suit of iron, proving that Earth's oceans still contain some of the most astonishing life forms imaginable. Fourth, barrel-eye fish. The barrel-eye fish is one of the most visually shocking animals ever discovered in the ocean. At first glance, it looks as though its head has been removed and replaced with a clear glass dome. Inside that transparent dome sit two bright green tubular eyes that point upward like a pair of tiny telescopes. This is not a drawing, a model, or a digital trick. The barrel-eye fish is completely real, and its appearance is so unusual that it feels impossible for it to exist as a natural animal. Yet it quietly lives in the deep sea, drifting through darkness with a body that seems designed more like a machine than a fish. The barrel-eye fish, scientifically known as Macropinna microstoma, has a small dark body and a large dome-shaped head filled with fluid. The top of this dome is transparent, allowing light to pass directly through to its eyes. Its eyes are not in the usual place on the sides of the head like in most fish. Instead, they sit inside the head, facing upward. This means that when you look at the fish from the front, you do not see eyes on its face. You see what looks like an empty glass-covered helmet with glowing green lenses inside. This unusual design allows the fish to look directly above itself while keeping its eyes safely protected inside its head. This structure feels almost impossible because eyes are normally exposed organs, fragile and vulnerable. The idea that a fish could hide its eyes inside its skull and look through its own transparent head seems more like science fiction than biology. The barrel-eye fish not only does this, but it also has the ability to rotate its eyes inside the dome. When it needs to look forward to feed, the tubular eyes tilt forward, allowing it to see prey directly in front of its mouth. This combination of hidden rotating eyes and a clear head dome is unlike anything else in the animal world. The barrel-eye fish lives in the deep waters of the Pacific Ocean, usually at depths between 600 and 800 meters. This region is part of the ocean's twilight zone, where sunlight is faint and the world is dim and blue. It spends most of its time drifting quietly, almost motionless in the cold water. In this environment, many animals produce faint glows, and light becomes a crucial signal for finding food and avoiding danger. The barrel-eye fish feeds mainly on small drifting animals such as jellyfish, tiny crustaceans, and zooplankton. It is especially known for stealing food from siphonophores, which are long, glowing, jellyfish-like colonies that trap small prey with stinging tentacles. The barrel-eye fish can approach these colonies carefully, using its upward-looking eyes to spot trapped animals without touching the stinging parts. It then rotates its eyes forward and gently picks off the prey. Because it is small, gelatinous, and lives far below fishing depths, the barrel-eye fish is not eaten by humans and is not considered edible. For a long time, scientists were deeply confused about the barrel-eye fish. The species was first described in 1939. But early specimens were badly damaged when they were brought up in nets. The delicate transparent dome collapsed under pressure changes, leaving scientists with flattened, strange-looking fish that seemed to have no visible eyes. For decades, textbooks illustrated barrel-eye fish with eyes on the sides of their heads, which turned out to be incorrect. It was not until 2004 that remotely operated deep-sea vehicles filmed a live barrel-eye fish in its natural environment and revealed the truth. The footage showed the intact transparent dome and the glowing eyes inside, completely rewriting scientific understanding of this animal. Once scientists were able to observe the barrel-eye fish alive, many of its mysteries began to make sense. The green color of its eyes comes from special pigments that filter out certain wavelengths of light. improving its ability to see faint glows from prey above. The transparent dome is filled with fluid that protects the eyes from stinging cells and debris. The fish's mouth is small and pointed upward, matching its upward-focused vision. Its body is dark, helping it blend into the dim background of the deep sea. There are many fascinating details about the barrel-eye fish that make it even more remarkable. It has extremely sensitive eyes that can detect tiny flashes of bioluminescent light. Its transparent dome acts like a natural helmet. Its eyes can rotate to change viewing direction. Its face appears expressionless because its eyes are hidden. It is rarely seen by humans. It has delicate fins that allow slow, hovering movement. Its body is soft and pressure-adapted. It often remains nearly motionless to avoid being noticed. It has a specialized feeding strategy that avoids stinging tentacles. It has a short, narrow mouth. It has no commercial fishing value. It lives entirely in low-light zones. It can spot prey directly above it. It is harmless to humans. It has no known aggressive behaviors. It has one of the most unusual head structures of any fish. It can see light patterns invisible to humans. It was misunderstood for decades. It appears almost ghost-like in the water, and it has become one of the most iconic examples of deep-sea strangeness. The barrel-eye fish is a powerful reminder that the ocean still hides creatures that look as if they belong in alien worlds rather than on Earth. Its transparent head and rotating eyes challenge our ideas of what a fish should look like. Quietly drifting in the twilight depths, the barrel-eye fish lives a life of precision, patience, and strange beauty, a real animal that seems too unusual to be real, yet absolutely is.
Fifth, zombie worm. The zombie worm is one of the most unusual and unsettling creatures ever discovered in the ocean. Its scientific name is Osidax, but it is more commonly called the zombie worm because of its strange habit of living on dead whales and slowly consuming their bones. Unlike most worms, it has no mouth, no stomach, and no obvious digestive system. Instead, it grows root-like structures that drill into solid bone, making it appear as though it is eating skeletons from the inside. This alone makes the zombie worm feel like something that should not exist in the natural world, yet it is very real and plays a unique role in the deep sea. The idea of an animal feeding on bones feels almost impossible. Bone is hard, mineral-rich, and difficult to break down, even for most bacteria. Yet the zombie worm does exactly that. It does not chew or swallow bone. Instead, it grows a network of branching roots that penetrate deep into the skeleton of a dead whale. Inside these roots live special bacteria that help dissolve bone material and release nutrients. The worm then absorbs these nutrients directly into its body. This strange feeding method allows zombie worms to survive in a habitat that is otherwise nearly lifeless once a whale carcass settles on the ocean floor. Zombie worms live in the deep ocean, where sunlight never reaches and water temperatures are extremely cold. They are most often found on whale falls, which are the remains of whales that have sunk to the seafloor after death. A single whale fall can become a rich temporary ecosystem that lasts for decades, providing food and shelter for many deep-sea creatures. Zombie worms appear once the soft tissues of the whale are mostly gone and the bones are exposed. They attach themselves directly to the skeleton and can cover it in dense, colorful colonies. Zombie worms do not eat in a typical way, and they are not edible. They are extremely small, fragile, and live far beyond fishing depths. Humans have no contact with them in everyday life, and they are not used as food in any culture. Their role in the ocean is entirely ecological, rather than culinary, helping to break down whale skeletons and recycle nutrients into the deep-sea environment. Scientists first discovered zombie worms in 2002 while exploring the deep-sea floor off the coast of California using submersible vehicles. Researchers were investigating a whale skeleton that had been intentionally placed on the seafloor for scientific study. When they returned later, they found the bones covered in strange red, white, and pink worm-like creatures. These worms had no mouths or digestive tracts, which immediately puzzled scientists.
Detailed study revealed that these worms were penetrating the bones and absorbing nutrients through bacterial partners living inside their root-like tissues. The discovery was so unexpected that it completely changed scientific understanding of how whale skeletons are broken down in the deep sea. The bodies of zombie worms are divided into two main parts. The visible portion consists of a soft trunk and feathery plumes that absorb oxygen from the surrounding water. The hidden portion is a complex root system that drills into bone. Female zombie worms are much larger and more visible than males. Males are microscopic and live inside the tubes of females, where they remain hidden for their entire lives. This unusual lifestyle makes zombie worm colonies appear to be made almost entirely of females, even though males are present in tiny numbers. There are many fascinating details about zombie worms that make them one of the strangest animals known. They can completely cover whale skeletons. They rely on bacteria inside their roots to break down bone. They have no mouth, stomach, or anus. Their root systems can penetrate deep into solid bone. They are found only in deep-sea environments. They can live for years on a single skeleton. Their colonies can contain thousands of individuals. They display bright colors such as red, pink, and white. Their plumes help them breathe. They are invisible until a whale fall occurs. They were unknown to science until the early 2000s. They help recycle nutrients into the deep ocean. They are not harmful to humans. They do not move much once attached. They depend entirely on whale remains. They can appear rapidly after a whale sinks. They form dense carpets over bones. They are considered one of the most specialized animals in the deep sea. They have a hidden male population living inside females, and they play a key role in deep-sea ecosystems by preventing whale skeletons from remaining unchanged for centuries. The zombie worm reminds us that even death can give rise to extraordinary forms of life. In the silent darkness of the deep ocean, where a fallen whale becomes an island of nourishment, these worms quietly transform bones into new energy for the surrounding environment. They look unsettling, behave in ways that seem impossible, and live in a place few humans will ever see, yet they are an essential and fascinating part of the deep sea's hidden world.
6th, Riftia tube worm. The Riftia tube worm is one of the most astonishing animals ever discovered in the deep ocean. At first glance, it looks like a cluster of long white pipes growing from the seafloor, each topped with a bright red feather-like plume. These towering worms can reach lengths of more than 2 meters, making them some of the largest worms on Earth. Their appearance is striking, but what truly makes them extraordinary is how they live. Riftia tube worms have no mouth, no stomach, and no intestines, yet they grow rapidly and form dense colonies in one of the most hostile environments on the planet. The idea that such a large animal can survive and thrive without a digestive system makes them seem almost impossible to exist. Riftia tube worms live in the deep ocean at hydrothermal vents, which are cracks in the seafloor where superheated, mineral-rich water bursts into the icy depths. These vents are found more than 2,000 meters below the surface, where sunlight never reaches. Temperatures can swing wildly from near freezing to extremely hot within a short distance, and the water contains toxic chemicals such as hydrogen sulfide. For most animals, this environment would be lethal. Yet Riftia tube worms form thick forests around these vents, standing upright in dense clusters and waving their red plumes in the dark water. The way Riftia tube worms obtain food is one of their most remarkable features. They do not eat in the traditional sense because they lack a mouth and digestive tract. Instead, they depend entirely on bacteria that live inside a special organ in their bodies. These bacteria use chemicals from the vent water to produce nutrients, and the worms absorb these nutrients directly into their tissues. In effect, each tube worm carries a living food factory inside its body. Because of this unusual lifestyle and their extreme habitat, Riftia tube worms are not edible and are not harvested or eaten by humans. Riftia tube worms were discovered in 1977 during the first deep-sea explorations of hydrothermal vents. Scientists using submersible vehicles were astonished to find large, bright red animals living in complete darkness
far away from any source of sunlight. Until that moment, most scientists believed that complex life could not exist in such deep, lightless environments. The discovery of riftia and other vent animals completely changed scientific understanding of life in the deep sea and revealed that entire ecosystems could exist independently of sunlight. The body of a riftia tube worm is divided into several specialized parts. The worm lives inside a tough white tube that it builds around itself for protection. Only the red plume and part of the body extend outside the tube. The red plume is not a flower or decoration. It functions as a breathing organ, absorbing oxygen and chemicals from the surrounding water. Inside the worm is a large internal organ called the trophosome, which is packed with bacteria that produce food for the worm. The worm's blood contains special molecules that transport oxygen and sulfide safely, allowing both the worm and its internal bacteria to survive in toxic conditions. Riftia tube worms grow extremely fast. They can reach full length in a short time compared to most deep-sea animals, forming dense fields that look like underwater gardens. These tube worm colonies create shelter and surfaces for many other vent animals, making them an important part of the vent community. When vent activity stops, the tube worms eventually die off, and their tubes remain as pale, empty structures on the seafloor. There are many fascinating facts about riftia tube worms that make them some of the strangest animals in the ocean. They can grow over 2 meters long. They have no mouth or digestive tract. They rely completely on bacteria inside their bodies for food. Their red plumes contain hemoglobin that binds both oxygen and toxic sulfide. They live only near hydrothermal vents. They form dense colonies that can include thousands of individuals. Their tubes are made of tough protein fibers. They can tolerate extreme temperature changes. They were unknown to science until the late 20th century. They can grow very rapidly. They provide habitat for other vent animals. Their blood has a unique chemistry. They appear bright red because of their oxygen-carrying pigments. They are one of the largest known marine worms. They are not edible. They cannot survive away from vent environments. They stand upright like forests on the seafloor. Their tubes remain long after the worms die. They help define vent ecosystems, and they are among the most iconic deep-sea creatures ever discovered. The riftia tube worm is a powerful reminder that the deep ocean still hides life forms that challenge everything we think we know about biology. Thriving without sunlight, without a digestive system, and in water filled with toxic chemicals, these towering worms create living forests in total darkness. Their existence proves that even in the most extreme and alien-seeming places on Earth, complex and remarkable life can flourish in ways that feel almost impossible.
7th, vampire squid. The vampire squid is one of the most mysterious and misunderstood animals in the deep ocean. Its scientific name is Vampiroteuthis infernalis, which literally means vampire squid from hell. Despite its frightening name, it is not aggressive and does not behave like a monster at all. Instead, it is a quiet, slow-moving creature that lives in some of the darkest and most oxygen-poor parts of the ocean. Its glowing eyes, dark cloak-like body, and strange feeding habits make it feel like something that should not exist, yet it drifts silently through the deep sea, perfectly adapted to its hidden world. At first glance, the vampire squid looks like a cross between a squid and an octopus. It has 8 arms connected by a cloak-like web of skin, giving it a cape-like appearance when spread open. Its eyes are enormous compared to its body and can glow red or blue depending on the light, giving it a haunting appearance in the darkness. Its skin is dark, almost black or deep red, and its entire body is soft and gelatinous. Unlike fast-swimming squids, the vampire squid moves slowly and gracefully, conserving energy in its harsh environment. The vampire squid feels almost impossible because it lives in areas of the ocean where oxygen levels are so low that most animals would suffocate. These regions are known as oxygen minimum zones. In such places, even many deep-sea fish cannot survive, yet the vampire squid spends its entire life there. It has an extremely slow metabolism,
special blood pigments that bind oxygen efficiently, and large gills that help it extract as much oxygen as possible from the water. Its ability to survive in near-dead zones of the ocean makes it one of the toughest animals known. The vampire squid is found in deep waters around the world, usually between 600 and 1200 meters below the surface. At these depths, sunlight does not reach, temperatures are cold, and pressure is immense. The vampire squid prefers calm, open water rather than the seafloor, drifting slowly in the darkness like a living shadow. It rarely comes into contact with humans, which is why it remained poorly understood for so long. Unlike most squids, the vampire squid is not an active hunter. It does not chase fish or attack prey. Instead, it feeds on what is known as marine snow, tiny particles of organic matter that slowly fall through the water from above. This snow is made of dead plankton, bits of algae, waste particles, and other drifting debris. The vampire squid collects these particles using long, sticky filaments and gently moves them into its mouth. Because of its gelatinous body and deep-sea habitat, it is not edible and is not harvested for food. The vampire squid was first described in the early 1900s, but early scientists misunderstood it. Because of its appearance, it was originally classified incorrectly as either a squid or an octopus. It took decades of further study, including deep-sea submersible observations, to understand that it is actually in its own unique group, sharing features with both squids and octopuses, but truly being something different. Observations of live vampire squids in their natural habitat finally revealed their gentle behavior, slow movement, and unusual feeding habits. One of the most dramatic features of the vampire squid is its defense display. When threatened, it can turn its arms inside out and wrap its cloak-like web over its body, exposing spiny projections that make it look much larger and more frightening. It can also release clouds of glowing blue bioluminescent mucus that confuse predators and allow it to escape quietly into the darkness. Unlike ink clouds released by other squids, this glowing mucus sticks in the water and continues to shine. There are many fascinating facts about the vampire squid. It has the largest eyes relative to body size of any animal. It can glow using special light-producing organs. It lives almost entirely in oxygen-poor zones. It moves very slowly to save energy. It feeds on marine snow rather than hunting prey. It uses sticky filaments to gather food. It can release bioluminescent mucus. It can turn itself inside out as a defense. It has a soft jelly-like body. It is harmless to humans. It does not bite or attack. It has reduced swimming fins as it grows older. It has special blood pigments that help it bind oxygen. It drifts rather than swims actively. It was misunderstood by scientists for many years. It belongs to its own unique group of cephalopods. It can survive where most animals cannot. It has dark, light-absorbing skin. It can glow in different colors, and it is one of the strangest deep-sea animals ever discovered. The vampire squid is a perfect example of how the deep ocean hides life forms that challenge our expectations. In a place with little oxygen, no sunlight, and crushing pressure, this quiet, glowing creature floats like a shadow, feeding on falling dust and defending itself with light. It does not chase, bite, or roar. It simply exists, a gentle phantom drifting through one of the most hostile environments on Earth.
8. Colossal squid. The colossal squid is one of the largest, heaviest, and most mysterious invertebrate animals on Earth. It lives so far below the ocean's surface and is seen so rarely that for much of human history, its existence seemed more like legend than reality. With eyes the size of dinner plates, tentacles armed with rotating hooks, and a body that can weigh as much as a small car, the colossal squid feels almost impossible to exist. Yet it does, silently moving through the cold, dark waters of the Southern Ocean, hidden from almost all human observation. The colossal squid, scientifically known as Mesonychoteuthis hamiltoni, is different from the more famous giant squid. While the giant squid is longer, the colossal squid is heavier and more powerfully built. It has a thick, muscular mantle, massive fins,
and 2 long feeding tentacles equipped with sharp swiveling hooks. These hooks can rotate and lock into prey, giving the squid an incredibly firm grip. Its arms also carry rows of suction cups lined with teeth, making escape nearly impossible for anything it catches. The sheer size and structure of the colossal squid make it seem unreal. Its eyes can reach up to 27 centimeters in diameter, making them the largest known eyes in the animal kingdom. These enormous eyes allow it to detect faint movements and tiny flashes of light in the pitch-black depths where it lives. Its muscles are built for strength rather than speed, allowing it to wrestle large prey and resist powerful predators. A creature this large, powerful, and hidden in such an extreme environment feels more like a myth than a real animal. The colossal squid lives in the cold, deep waters of the Southern Ocean surrounding Antarctica. It usually inhabits depths ranging from several hundred to over 2,000 meters below the surface. At these depths, sunlight is absent, water temperatures are near freezing, and pressure is immense. This is one of the most remote and hostile marine environments on Earth, making encounters with colossal squids extremely rare. Most of what we know about them comes from specimens that have been accidentally caught by deep-sea fishing vessels or found inside the stomachs of sperm whales. Colossal squids are powerful predators. They feed on large deep-sea fish, including species such as the Patagonian toothfish and possibly other squids. They use their long tentacles to grab prey and their strong arms to hold it in place while they tear it apart with a sharp beak hidden at the center of their arms. Because of their size, remote habitat, and rarity, colossal squids are not harvested for food and are not part of any human diet. Their flesh is tough and ammonia-rich, making it unsuitable and undesirable for consumption. Humans first became aware of the colossal squid in the early 20th century, but most early evidence came from beaks found in whale stomachs rather than from intact animals. Sperm whales hunt deep in the ocean, and their stomachs often contain the indigestible beaks of large squids. By studying these beaks, scientists realized that an enormous squid species existed far below the surface. It was not until 2003 that the first mostly intact colossal squid specimen was recovered, followed by a complete specimen in 2007 that stunned the scientific community and confirmed the true size and power of this hidden giant. The colossal squid has many remarkable characteristics that make it one of the most extreme animals on the planet. It has the largest eyes of any animal. It has rotating hooks on its tentacles. It is the heaviest squid species known. It can weigh over 500 kilograms. It has a powerful parrot-like beak. It has thick muscles built for strength. It has large fins that help stabilize its movement. It lives in freezing water. It rarely comes near the surface. It is hunted by sperm whales. It can grip prey with both hooks and toothed suction cups. It has a slow, deliberate swimming style. It has extremely sensitive vision. It has soft pressure-adapted tissues. It has no commercial fishing value. It is one of the least observed large animals on Earth. It was confirmed by intact specimens only in the 21st century. It may be able to detect whale echolocation. It has a short but powerful body, and it is considered the true heavyweight champion of squids. The colossal squid represents one of the ocean's greatest secrets, a massive, powerful predator that spends its entire life hidden in freezing darkness. Its size, strength, and rarity make it feel like a creature pulled from myth or legend, rather than from Earth's real oceans. Yet it quietly exists beneath Antarctic waters, unseen, proving that the deep sea still holds giants that challenge everything we think we know about the limits of life.
9th, supergiant amphipod. The supergiant amphipod is one of the most startling creatures ever discovered in the deep ocean. At first glance, it looks like an oversized shrimp or a monstrous pillbug with long legs and curved claws, but its size is what truly shocks people. While most amphipods are tiny and barely noticed, this deep-sea version can grow as long as a human forearm. Seeing a crustacean that resembles a giant alien insect crawling across the seafloor makes it feel like something that should not exist outside of science fiction. Yet it is real, silently roaming the deepest parts of the ocean.
Amphipods are a group of crustaceans usually known for their small size. Most species are only a few millimeters long. The supergiant amphipod, however, belongs to the species Alicella gigantea and can reach lengths of more than 30 centimeters. Its pale, translucent body, long antennae and clawed limbs make it look eerie and fragile at the same time. The idea that a normally tiny creature could grow to such massive proportions in the deep ocean feels almost impossible, especially in an environment known for scarce food and crushing pressure. The supergiant amphipod lives in the deepest parts of the ocean, including abyssal plains and deep trenches. It has been recorded at depths exceeding 8,000 meters, placing it among the deepest living crustaceans known. These regions are completely dark, extremely cold, and under pressure that would crush most submarines. Very few animals can survive in such conditions, making the presence of a large mobile scavenger there even more astonishing. This creature is a scavenger rather than an active hunter. It feeds on the remains of dead animals that sink down from the upper layers of the ocean, such as fish, squid, and even whale remains. When a large carcass falls to the deep sea floor, supergiant amphipods can gather in large numbers and rapidly strip it of soft tissue. Despite their impressive size, they are not edible and are not part of any human diet. Their habitat is far beyond fishing depths, and their bodies are adapted to high pressure rather than to life at the surface. Scientists first began to notice supergiant amphipods in the late 19th century, when deep-sea trawling equipment occasionally brought up unusually large crustaceans. However, only fragments and damaged specimens were recovered at first. Later, deep-sea submersibles and remotely operated vehicles captured footage of these creatures alive in their natural environment. These recordings confirmed that they were not isolated giants, but members of a species adapted to deep-sea life. The appearance of the supergiant amphipod is both fascinating and unsettling. Its body is segmented, with long legs that help it walk across soft sediment. Its claws are curved and strong, allowing it to tear apart carcasses. Its pale coloration reflects the lack of sunlight in its habitat, and its body often appears almost transparent. Its eyes are small and not particularly useful in the darkness, but its antennae are highly sensitive, helping it detect chemical signals from decaying matter. There are many interesting details about the supergiant amphipod that make it one of the most unusual deep-sea animals known. It is one of the largest amphipods ever recorded. It lives at depths where pressure is extreme. It can detect food from long distances. It can appear suddenly in large groups when a carcass falls. It has a slow, deliberate walking style. It can survive long periods without food. It has flexible joints that withstand pressure. It is pale and translucent. It has long antennae for sensing its environment. It is a scavenger rather than a predator. It has strong claws for tearing flesh. It is rarely seen alive by humans. It can live in complete darkness. It is harmless to humans. It has no commercial value. It plays a role in cleaning the deep sea floor. It can feed on whale falls. It belongs to a group usually known for tiny species. It can reach lengths comparable to a human forearm, and it remains one of the most mysterious crustaceans in the ocean. The supergiant amphipod stands as a reminder that the deep ocean still hides creatures that challenge our expectations of size, form, and survival. In a place where food is scarce and pressure is crushing, this giant scavenger slowly walks the sea floor, waiting for the next meal to fall from above. Its presence feels unreal, yet it is a quiet, essential part of the deep-sea world, proving that even in Earth's most extreme environments, life can take on astonishing and unexpected forms. 10th, goblin shark. The goblin shark is one of the most unusual and unsettling sharks ever discovered. With its long, flat snout, pale pink skin, and jaws that can shoot forward out of its face, it looks less like a real animal and more like a creature designed for a horror movie. It is often called a living ghost because of how rarely it is seen and how strange it appears. Many people who see their first photo of a goblin shark are convinced it cannot be real. Yet this bizarre shark quietly lives in the deep ocean, hidden from most of the world. The goblin shark's scientific name is Mitsukurina ostoni. It belongs to a very old and rare group of sharks, and its appearance alone makes it feel almost impossible. Its skin is semi-translucent, allowing blood vessels to show through, giving it a pinkish tone. Its long snout is filled with special sensory organs that help it detect electrical signals produced by other animals. But the most shocking feature is its jaw. When the goblin shark attacks, its jaw can shoot forward at incredible speed, extending far beyond its mouth and snapping shut on prey. This mechanism looks more like something from a science fiction machine than a biological animal. This forward jaw action feels impossible because most sharks bite by lunging their entire bodies forward. The goblin shark can remain almost still and simply launch its jaws like a spring-loaded trap. Its teeth are long, thin, and sharp, designed for gripping slippery prey. Watching this mechanism in action makes it hard to believe that such a system exists naturally. Goblin sharks live in deep waters around the world, usually between 200 and 1,300 meters below the surface. They are most commonly found near continental slopes and underwater canyons. Because they live so deep and are slow-moving, they are rarely encountered by humans. Most sightings come from deep-sea fishing operations that accidentally catch them in nets. Goblin sharks feed mainly on deep-sea fish, squid, and crustaceans. They detect prey using the sensitive sensors in their long snouts, then launch their jaws forward to grab and swallow it whole. Goblin sharks are not commonly eaten by humans. Their meat is considered poor quality, and because of their rarity and deep habitat, they are not targeted by fisheries. The goblin shark was first discovered in 1898 off the coast of Japan. When the first specimen was brought to the surface, scientists were shocked by its strange appearance and jaw structure. For many years, goblin sharks were known only from a handful of preserved specimens, making them seem almost mythical. It was not until modern deep-sea fishing and submersible exploration that scientists began to encounter them more frequently and study their behavior in greater detail. The goblin shark moves slowly and quietly through the water, conserving energy in its cold, dark environment. Its muscles are softer and less dense than those of faster sharks, allowing it to remain buoyant. Its fins are rounded and flexible, helping it glide rather than sprint. Its eyes are small and less important for hunting compared to its sensitive snout. There are many fascinating facts about the goblin shark that make it one of the strangest sharks known. Its jaw can extend several centimeters forward. It has over 30 rows of sharp teeth. It has a pinkish skin tone. It lives mostly in deep water. It is rarely seen alive. It can swallow prey whole. It uses electrical sensing to find food. It has a long, flattened snout. It moves slowly to save energy. It is harmless to humans. It has no commercial fishing value. It can reach lengths of over 4 meters. It can weigh more than 200 kilograms. It is found in oceans around the world. It is sometimes caught accidentally in deep nets. It has soft, flabby muscles. It has flexible fins. It looks very different from most sharks. It is one of the rarest sharks, and it is considered one of the most unusual sharks ever recorded. The goblin shark is a reminder that the deep ocean still hides animals that seem to defy what we expect from nature. Its spring-loaded jaws, ghostly appearance, and secretive life in the darkness make it feel like a creature from another world. Yet it silently glides through deep waters, living its strange and hidden life far below the surface, proving once again that Earth's oceans still hold creatures that can astonish even modern science.
11th. Blobfish. The blobfish is one of the most misunderstood animals in the ocean. It is often shown in photos as a droopy, sad-looking creature with a melted face and a permanent frown, and it is frequently labeled as the world's ugliest animal.
While its appearance at the surface may look strange and even comical, the blobfish is not meant to live in shallow water at all. In its natural home deep below the ocean's surface, it looks very different and lives a quiet, slow life in complete darkness. The blobfish belongs to a group of deep-sea fish known scientifically as Cycrolutes marcides. It lives at extreme depths where the pressure is dozens of times greater than at the surface. At those depths, its body has a soft, jelly-like consistency that allows it to remain buoyant without needing a swim bladder. Most fish rely on gas-filled organs to help them float, but in deep water, gas would be crushed by pressure. The blobfish's body solves this problem by being less dense than water, allowing it to float effortlessly. This unusual body structure is one of the main reasons it feels so impossible to exist. The blobfish looks so strange at the surface because its body is adapted specifically for high-pressure environments. When it is brought up quickly in fishing nets, the sudden drop in pressure causes its tissues to expand and collapse, giving it the melted, sagging appearance that made it famous. In its natural deep-sea habitat, however, its body is more compact and fish-like, with a smoother shape and less exaggerated features. The blob appearance is actually a result of pressure trauma, not what it normally looks like in the deep. Blobfish live on the sea floor of deep ocean regions off the coasts of Australia, New Zealand and Tasmania. They are usually found at depths between 600 and 1200 meters, where sunlight does not reach and water temperatures are cold and stable. These areas are quiet and largely unexplored, which is why blobfish were unknown to science for so long. Blobfish are passive feeders. They do not chase prey. Instead, they float just above the sea floor and wait for food to drift toward them. Their diet consists mainly of small crustaceans, sea urchins, shell fragments, and other organic debris that sinks from above. They simply open their mouths and allow food to enter. Blobfish are not considered edible, and they are not part of any human diet. Their gelatinous bodies and deep-sea habitat make them unsuitable for consumption. Scientists first discovered blobfish in the late 20th century, when deep-sea trawling operations accidentally brought them to the surface. Early specimens shocked researchers because of their unusual appearance and soft bodies. Only later did scientists realize that their distorted look was caused by rapid pressure change during capture. As submersible technology improved, scientists were finally able to observe blobfish in their natural environment, revealing that they are not quite as blobby as surface photos suggest. The blobfish has several fascinating characteristics that help it survive in the deep sea. It has very little muscle mass because it does not need to swim actively. It relies on buoyancy to stay afloat. Its bones are softer than those of shallow water fish. Its skin is loose and gelatinous. Its eyes are small because there is little light. Its mouth is wide for easy feeding. It has a slow metabolism. It moves slowly to conserve energy. It is rarely seen alive by humans. It has no swim bladder. It is harmless. It can survive in cold, dark environments. It has no commercial fishing value. It was made famous by internet photos. It lives entirely on the sea floor. It can float slightly above sediment. It feeds on drifting debris. It is not aggressive. It is protected in some regions. It can live for many years, and it is one of the strangest looking fish ever recorded. The blobfish is a powerful example of how appearances can be misleading. What looks like a melting, sad creature at the surface is actually a perfectly functional deep-sea fish designed for life under crushing pressure. In the darkness of the ocean floor, the blobfish quietly drifts, feeding on what the sea provides, and reminding us that the deep ocean still hides life forms that seem unreal, yet are entirely real.
12th, Dumbo octopus. The Dumbo octopus is one of the most charming and mysterious creatures ever discovered in the deep ocean. With its round body, large eyes, and two ear-like fins that flap gently as it swims, it looks more like a floating cartoon character than a real animal. These fins resemble the ears of Disney's Dumbo, which is how the Dumbo octopus earned its popular name.
Despite its cute appearance, this octopus lives in some of the deepest, coldest, and darkest parts of the ocean, making it one of the most elusive and unusual octopus species known to science. Scientifically, Dumbo octopuses belong to the genus Grimperteuthis. They have soft, gelatinous bodies and are much rounder than the octopuses people are familiar with in shallow waters. Their most noticeable feature is the pair of fins on top of their heads. These fins allow them to fly through the water in a slow, graceful motion, unlike other octopuses that mainly crawl along the seafloor or jet forward by expelling water. The idea of an octopus gently flapping through pitch-black water with ear-like fins feels almost impossible, yet this quiet flight is one of the Dumbo octopus's defining traits. The Dumbo octopus feels impossible to exist because of how and where it lives. It inhabits depths ranging from about 3,000 to over 7,000 meters below the surface, making it one of the deepest living octopus species in the world. At these depths, sunlight does not reach at all, temperatures are near freezing, and pressure is so intense that it would crush most machines. Yet the Dumbo octopus floats calmly in this hostile environment, moving slowly and delicately through the darkness as if it were drifting through air rather than water. Dumbo octopuses are found in deep waters all around the world, including the Atlantic, Pacific, and Indian Oceans. They usually stay near the seafloor, hovering slightly above it as they search for food. Their quiet movements and remote habitat make them extremely difficult to study, which is why scientists know far less about them than about shallow water octopuses. Unlike many octopuses that actively hunt, the Dumbo octopus feeds mainly on small animals, living on or just above the seafloor. Its diet includes tiny worms, crustaceans, snails, and small clams. It gently floats down toward its prey, envelops it with its webbed arms, and consumes it whole. Dumbo octopuses are not edible and are not part of any human food culture. Their bodies are soft, gelatinous, and fragile, and they live far beyond commercial fishing depths. Scientists first learned about Dumbo octopuses through deep-sea exploration using trawling equipment and later, remotely operated vehicles and submersible cameras. Early specimens were rare and often damaged when brought to the surface. It was not until deep-sea cameras captured Dumbo octopuses swimming in their natural habitat that scientists fully understood their fin-flapping movement and unique body shape. These recordings revealed their gentle behavior and quiet presence in the deep sea. The Dumbo octopus has many features that make it especially fascinating. Its arms are connected by a thin web, forming a cape-like structure. It has a soft internal shell that helps support its body. Its eyes are large to collect as much faint light as possible. It has a slow metabolism to conserve energy. It does not use ink like most octopuses. It has no large spines or sharp defenses. It relies on calm movement rather than speed. It can hover motionless in the water. It can sit gently on the seafloor. It is harmless to humans. It has a short, rounded body. It has suckers that line its arms. It can slowly pulse its fins for movement. It lives in some of the deepest parts of the ocean. It is rarely seen. It has no commercial value. It has no known aggressive behaviors. It glides rather than jets. It has a delicate appearance, and it has become one of the most beloved deep-sea animals because of its gentle floating flight. The Dumbo octopus shows that the deep ocean is not only a place of monsters and shadows, but also a place of quiet beauty. In complete darkness, far below the waves, this small soft creature flaps its ear-like fins and drifts calmly through cold water. Its existence feels unreal, yet it is very real, a gentle reminder that Earth's deepest places still hold wonders that seem more like dreams than living animals. As we come to the end of this quiet journey into the deepest parts of our planet, remember that far beneath the waves, in places no sunlight has ever touched, these extraordinary creatures continue their slow, silent lives. They drift, glow, hide, feed, and endure in a world of cold darkness and crushing pressure, reminding us that Earth is still full of wonders we have barely begun to understand. Now let your thoughts drift gently, like soft marine snow falling through deep blue water. Allow your breathing to slow, your body to relax, and your mind to grow calm and quiet. The ocean below is peaceful, and so are you. Good night, and may your sleep be deep, gentle, and full of beautiful dreams.